Hey mamas, I'm Brooke Miller, registered dietitian, certified lactation counselor, and a mama who has helped hundreds of moms feel like themselves again after baby, boost their energy, mood, metabolism, and even milk supply. Inside of the Postpartum Shift podcast, you'll learn how to take care of your health so that you can show up best for the ones you care about most. Each week, we'll tackle topics like nutrition, exercise, breastfeeding, mental health, and so much more. Plus, you'll get access to guest experts who will share ways to make your pregnancy and postpartum experience easier. Whether you're approaching the postpartum period or you're right in the thick of it, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's topic. Hello. Today, we're going to be talking about pregnancy, how to have a healthy pregnancy, some things that I have learned now that this is technically this is my 8th pregnancy, but this is my 3rd pregnancy, where I have made it to, I am 29 weeks when I record this. So if those of you who don't know my story, you can go back and listen. I talk about my recurrent miscarriages and how we lost 5 different pregnancies over the last few years from miscarriage for different reasons. And so you can go back and listen to that episode. But today I wanted to talk about just some things that I've done throughout my pregnancies that I think have really helped not only have a healthy pregnancy, but I think have really helped me have a really pretty easy recovery postpartum, things that have made just postpartum in general a lot easier. And the truth is, when we can start preparing for postpartum during pregnancy, we're going to have an easier time recovering postpartum. So I'm just going to talk about some things that have worked for me. Obviously, we're all unique individuals, and what works for you may look different for me, and that's okay too. But I'm just going to share some things that I've done that have made me feel really good throughout pregnancy. And I've been very fortunate. I have not had a C-section, in knock on wood. Hopefully this is a vaginal birth as well, but I have not had a C-section. So I can't speak directly from personal experience. I do know, recovering from a C-section is a lot more challenging, a lot more difficult. There's a lot more to it. So I will say this is coming at it completely from a perspective of a vaginal delivery. I have never had a significant amount of blood loss or hemorrhage after birth. I have never had really, really severe tearing. I've had very minimal tearing. So, take this with a grain of salt. That is not you. If you have had some pretty, rough postpartum experiences, sometimes some of that healing is a little bit out of our control especially when we have an unexpected C-section or a really bad tear or a postpartum hemorrhage. Some of these things are really scary and can obviously, be challenging to heal from postpartum. So some things that have really, really drastically helped me mentally, physically, postpartum, and during my pregnancy I'm just going to start rattling off some things. So one is walking outside. Walking is something that I am so consistent with. And I think what drives me the most with walking outside is really for my mental health. I'm very fortunate to live in Denver, Colorado, where pretty much all year round we have nice weather. Even our winters are pretty mild. We will get dumped on. We will have a day where we get 10 inches of snow. And then the next day it's 60 and sunny and the snow's melting. So yes, we have winter. Yes, we get snow, but it is not where it snows for a week straight and it's freezing and it's icy and you can't really walk outside. I grew up in Wisconsin, and so winters there are freaking miserable. I do not miss Wisconsin winters. And if you live somewhere like Wisconsin, I am so sorry, because I know how challenging it can be in the winter to get outside. And it's great. Here in Denver, even in the winter, we have so many sunny days. And so I'm very grateful and very fortunate to live in a beautiful place with very mild weather. My parents and brother live in Phoenix, and I do not know how y'all do it in that heat. I am such a baby in the heat. I cannot handle the heat. So if you are, on the West Coast, or you are somewhere south, where it's really humid, or on the East Coast and it is so hot year round, again, I do not know how you guys handle that. I can't do it. And so, walking outside has been really something that really has helped not only my mental health mentally, but it's also helped me physically. And getting outside, obviously, it helps your heart rate, it helps your blood sugar, it helps your mood, it helps your energy. There's so many different benefits to walking, and it's something that you can start doing postpartum pretty early after you give birth. And so if you can start, walking pretty consistently during your pregnancy, it is going to help your postpartum recovery. And it's, again, something that you can really easily ease back into postpartum. So that is one thing that I've done throughout this pregnancy and all my pregnancies. Something else that I've done throughout my pregnancies that have been really helpful and beneficial has been strength training. So I have done strength training throughout this entire pregnancy. Especially my last pregnancy with my son, I was strength training through, 39 weeks when I delivered him. My first pregnancy was a little bit unique and different. I had to stop strength training around 27 weeks. Basically, my first pregnancy, my placenta started having insufficiency, which is super dangerous. It can lead to stillbirth. And my son had intrauterine growth restriction. And so basically, with that pregnancy, they told me that all I could really do is walk and stretch. And so with that pregnancy, I was walking every day, and then I was doing very light yoga, like very gentle stretching yoga with him until delivery. But I made sure to continue with the stretching and the walking. And again, it really helped me have an easy time recovering postpartum. So if you can get in walking, yoga, stretching, movement, strength training, like anything like that throughout your pregnancy, it is just going to set you up to have an easier postpartum experience. So movement is one thing that is super important. And again, find what you enjoy, find what's accessible for you, find what works in your season of life. And you will find that it not only helps your mood, but your energy as well. If you've been wanting to reach your healthiest weight and feel like yourself again postpartum without having to sacrifice your favorite foods or your milk supply, I've got a free workshop just for you. Inside of this free workshop, you'll discover how to boost energy, mood, metabolism, and even protect your milk supply. You'll learn common mistakes that moms make that actually cause exhaustion, mood swings, low milk supply, and weight loss resistance to become worse, things that moms don't even realize. And you'll learn the proven 3-step method to heal your hormones and metabolism after baby, so you can go from surviving to thriving postpartum. Plus, as a free gift, you'll get my postpartum snack guide when you come hang out with us. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes to save your seat today. Spots are limited. See you there. And something else that really helped me throughout my pregnancies and postpartum was just eating on a really consistent schedule. Like my schedule with eating, I eat breakfast, I eat dinner, I eat lunch, like I eat at the same time every day, and giving your body that consistency is really important. If you are somebody who some days skips breakfast, some days eats breakfast, some days eats dinner at 5, some days eats dinner at 7, like kind of your blood sugar gets off balance, but also it just gives your body that uncertainty. And so for your hormones and metabolism to really function at its best, it needs that consistency. So I always eat within an hour of waking. I always have a big breakfast. Breakfast is usually one of my biggest meals of the day. I get lots of protein and, usually some veggies and some berries and those kinds of things, and, fiber in there. And it truly boosts my mood and my energy all morning long. And it sustains me for typically at least 4 hours. And so having a big balanced breakfast, eating on a consistent meal pattern, it is such a game changer. And throughout pregnancy, our calorie needs start increasing. So my calorie needs right now in the 3rd trimester are higher than they were in the 2nd trimester. And then they are higher than they were in the 1st trimester. And then of course, once I deliver this baby, my calorie needs will go up even higher. So, when you're in the first few months postpartum, that's really where your calorie needs are the highest, because your body is healing from labor and delivery, whether it was a vaginal birth or C-section. And so nutrition is really vital to that healing process. So when you hear that, a lot of moms will be like, oh, I just need to eat more calories. Okay. It doesn't matter what I eat. I just need more calories. So that is not what I'm saying. The quality of the calories are really important for the healing process. So we want to make sure that we are eating enough protein for your needs. We want to make sure that we are increasing vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables to help us with the healing process. So there are a lot of different types of nutrients and types of foods that we really need to be eating throughout pregnancy, but also in the postpartum period. And what most people don't realize is our vitamins and mineral needs are actually highest postpartum. So they increase throughout our pregnancy, through each trimester, and then they get higher after we deliver. And so when we're thinking about calories and protein and vitamins and minerals and supplements and things that we should be on, we need to continue those into the postpartum experience. And so, I've always been very consistent with drinking water and taking my vitamins and minerals and supplements and all of those things. And so that has definitely helped me throughout my pregnancy and postpartum experience. I just never stopped taking them. So I have been on basically the same supplements for 6 years since we're trying to conceive our first son, and I've just stayed on them. So my recommendation is don't hop on and off. Don't be like, oh, I'm pregnant, so I'm going to take a vitamin, and then I had the baby, I don't need this anymore. If there's a possibility that you could get pregnant again in the future, if you were still in the childbearing years, you should be on all these supplements through at least, really the first few years postpartum. And especially, if there's potential that you might get pregnant again. So for me, I know this is my last baby. We are done. We are donezo after this. We are done. And so I know I'm not going to be getting pregnant again. However, I'm planning to breastfeed this baby, 2 years like I breastfed my other kids. And so I'm going to stay on all these supplements for sure for 2 years postpartum. And then I may switch the prenatal vitamin I'm on in 2 years. I may switch to a different type of vitamin at that time. But honestly, prenatal vitamins are theirs better than a lot of the like women's 1 a day type of vitamins. So there is no harm in staying on good quality prenatal vitamins for years and years and years. Like it is not going to hurt you. And so those are some things that have been really, really vital and extremely important. Something else that has been a game changer for my mental and physical health throughout pregnancy and postpartum has been a consistent bedtime. I'm very fortunate. My husband loves going to bed early. He has to wake up super early for work. So because he goes to bed so early, I'm kind of like, okay, if you're going to bed, I'm going to bed. And so we are usually in bed by 9:30 and we are usually sleeping by 10. And my kids, praise the Lord, lately they have been sleeping in until 7. And so, 6:30, between 6:30 and 7. So I am consistently getting 8 hours or more of sleep. And I know that is going to change 100%. I know that's going to change when baby arrives. I am not expecting to get long stretches because I never got long stretches with either of my kids. However, I'm going to keep my bedtime really consistent when this baby comes. And truthfully, I will probably move up my bedtime a little bit. So I may even move up my bedtime to where I'm in bed by 9. And it's because I can't control how often my baby gets up in the middle of the night. They're probably going to be feeding every 2 to 3 hours. And, I like my sleep. I love sleeping. And so I have no problem being a grandma. I have no problem going to bed early. And so that has been, a complete game changer for my pregnancy and postpartum. Something else that has been a really big game changer for my postpartum and pregnancy experiences is really tuning into how I'm doing with stress. So when I'm feeling like my nervous system is overwhelmed, being able to tune into that and ask, what does my body need right now? And sometimes it's a meditation, sometimes it's deep breathing, sometimes it's a walk outside. I've been very good about being able to tune into what my body is needing in that moment. And I think a lot of times as moms, we get overstimulated, right? When our kids are screaming and they are needing something from us and they are constantly it's constant chaos in my house right now. I know it's going to be just even more chaotic in a few months when we have 3 children under 5. I know it's just going to be extreme chaos all the time. And so something that I've been really working hard on is trying to regulate my nervous system. And so even with my husband, I'll tell him, he gets very easily overwhelmed and overstimulated. I tell him, I'm like, go put on your noise canceling headphones, walk out of the room. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a deep breath. And so it's cute. He'll like walk in with his noise canceling headphones in, and I can tell like that's when he's overstimulated, but it helps him in that moment. And so we're all unique. So for you, it might need mean like walking into the other room, taking, 5 deep breaths and then coming back out. We all have different things that work well for us. So just being able to tune in to what your body needs when it comes to our mental and physical health is so crucial. And so if you can start implementing some of these habits again during pregnancy or even before you want to get pregnant, it is going to make your postpartum experience so much easier. And this is something I think a lot of moms don't realize is they kind of make it through pregnancy. Maybe they're struggling with things like morning sickness, or they're just really not paying attention to what they're eating throughout pregnancy. And then their baby comes and now all of a sudden they're sleep deprived because our babies are not sleeping. They're sleep deprived. They are uncomfortable in their bodies. They want to get their bodies back. So all of a sudden, these moms are just jumping to extremes like, oh, now I'm going to diet. Now I'm going to eat restrictive. Now I'm going to start working out because I want to lose the baby weight. And they're trying to implement all these different habits all at once. And so it is actually so much better for our bodies, for our hormones, for our metabolisms to start slowly implementing a lot of these different habits throughout our pregnancy, and then continuing to implement them throughout our pregnancy or postpartum experience versus, not having any of these habits in place during pregnancy and then, giving birth and then immediately trying to implement all of these different habits all at once. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that you can start implementing some of these habits throughout your pregnancy and postpartum so you can feel your best mentally and physically. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day. Exercise is crucial for our overall mental and physical health, especially during pregnancy and postpartum. Something that has helped me stay really consistent with strength training and yoga at home during nap time is the Expecting and Empowered workout app. I love that I can choose how many weeks pregnant or postpartum I am, and the app tells me exactly what to do. Plus, there's cardio, yoga, and strength training options for new moms and moms to be. You can go ahead and click the link in the show notes to get 7 days free and also save 15% off the annual option when you use promo code Nutrition for Mamas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to the Postpartum Shift podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share this episode with a mom friend and leave a written review. This helps the podcast reach and help even more moms. Come say hi over on Instagram at Nutrition for Mamas.